Hello, I'm Kristen Graham, and today I will be talking about how equine law differs from the laws for other animals. I will probably use the word horse or horses, but in most cases I'm referring to all equids. I will talk about how horses are classified under the law, some of the differences between federal and state laws, and some other agencies involved in equine welfare. How are horses classified? Are they considered livestock, or are they pets? Historically, horses were considered beasts of burden and were raised to perform work. And when a horse's useful life was over, the horse was used for food or other purposes. It was really not that long ago that horses and other equids were a primary means of transportation. And even though their role has changed with the invention of the automobile, they have not been totally replaced in our society. Even with modern technology, today equines are still used by the military. As we saw burros being used in Afghanistan during Operation Enduring Freedom, and horses are still being used at Arlington National Cemetery for full honors funerals. We keep horses as companion animals, ride them in competitions, and use them on ranches and farms to perform a variety of tasks. Here in the US, many people have a soft spot in their heart for horses, and this has led to the anti-slaughter legislation that has shut down the horse slaughter plants. As people began resisting the use of horses for meat, their classification as a livestock animal became fuzzy. So, what does federal law say about horses? According to federal law, specifically Titles 7 and 9 of the Code of Federal Regulations, horses are classified as livestock, right along with cattle, sheep, goats, pigs, and poultry. The many subchapters of Titles 7 and 9 regulate the interstate transportation of livestock, outline regulations to prevent the spread of diseases, and describe the regulations on international import and export, among other things. According to the USDA's National Agricultural Library, horses are listed as livestock, but there is not quite as much information on the horses on the library as there are for other livestock species or companion animals. Also, under Title 9 of the Code of Federal Regulations is the Equine Protection Act of 1970 that seeks to protect horses from being sored. Soring is defined as when someone deliberately causes pain to exaggerate leg motion in a horse's gait. This has been an ongoing problem in some disciplines, and the act has been revised a few times throughout the years. While slaughter is covered in another presentation, I just wanted to briefly point out that even though horses are a livestock species and listed with those other livestock species whose purpose is to provide meat and fiber, horses are either not mentioned in the laws that regulate the slaughter of other livestock, or they are still included in some of the articles that appear to have been written prior to the 2009 ban on horse slaughter. The federal laws actually seem pretty simple compared to the array of state laws and regulations that are out there. I focused on the laws in Colorado, Nebraska, and Wyoming because that's where I've grown up and lived. But I would encourage you to look up the specific laws in your state. You might find some surprises. In Colorado, horses are generally classified as livestock when it comes to fencing laws and brand inspections. But however, as far as brand inspections, a distinction is made between bovine livestock and equine livestock, but only as far as fees are concerned. In Nebraska, horses are also classified as livestock, but they have some additional laws. In Nebraska, it is illegal to rope horses for entertainment. This is also known as horse tripping. In Nebraska, an equine massage therapist or chiropractor must work under the supervision of a veterinarian. Colorado and Wyoming have no such laws. In Nebraska, horses are not subject to brand inspection, like cattle in the western half of the state are. And so far, my favorite law is the Nebraska Revised Statute 29415, which states, "The sheriffs of the several counties within this state are hereby authorized to offer and pay a reward not exceeding the sum of $50 for the capture and conviction of any person charged with stealing a horse or horses, automobile, or automobiles within their respective counties." In Wyoming, horses are also considered livestock and are subject to the same brand inspection laws and fencing laws that cattle are. They are also included with other livestock under the estrays laws for loose livestock. However, in Wyoming, unclaimed or wild horses are treated differently, and a person must get a permit if they want to gather any unclaimed horses. This could be a whole nother topic in itself. In Wyoming Title 11, Chapter 20, it states that if a person owns a horse that breaches the lawful enclosure of another party, the horse owner is liable for any damages. I have shortened it, but this is actually quite a lengthy article. Every state has some type of law regarding horses. Texas, for instance, now regulates equine dentistry. I encourage you to check out the equine laws in your state. Just go to the legislature's website for your state and look for the list of statutes. It's probably listed someplace under agriculture. There are other agencies that have their own regulations and/or advocate for horse-specific legislation. These include, but are not limited to, the American Veterinary Medical Association, the American Association of Equine Practitioners, and the various breed associations. Each one of these associations have long lists of rules that their members must follow. Just a quick look at the American Veterinary Medical Association's website brings up a long list of equine-related topics. Some of the topics include soring, which we already discussed, tail alteration of show horses, euthanasia, management of mares in the pregnant mare urine collection industry, abuse, neglect, horse tripping, and the use of urban work horses. Well, I have briefly touched on how horses are classified, some of the various laws that apply to horses on the federal and state levels, and also some of the other agencies that are out there regulating the use of horses. I hope you have a chance to look into some of the laws for yourself. Here are a few links for some very informative websites if you would like to do a little bit of your own research. I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you for listening.